Oh my gosh.
Welcome to the Crazy Dre Podcast Show, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. It's your main man, aka Crazy Crockett, aka Andres Podcast. Well, baseball season's here finally. The Dodgers against the Tigers. Dodgers at home, first series for them. Obviously, Tigers on the road, starting out of the season on the road. Little things I take away from Kirk Gibson returned to Dodgerland to throw out the first pitch to Freddie Freeman. Jack Flaherty received his World Series ring. He was a part of the team last year. Detroit traded him, and he came back to Detroit on a 2-year contract for $35 million. That's something to. It's a good deal for Detroit. But I'm gonna run down the score and everything else with it. What I thought, what I saw, expectations. Obviously, Detroit lost 5-4, but we scored runs, so we came back. But it was going to be a tough series for Detroit. Tarek Skubal coming off the Cy Young Triple Crown of last year. Probably not going to look as great or not, well, hopefully as good as last year, but you can't expect those numbers on a consistent basis. Everyone's going to be aggressive against him. Everyone's going to attack him, I think. First pitch, second pitches. They're not going to let him sit around and work his account against any other team. So, taken away from that, he only threw 80 pitches, gave up 4 runs, gave up a 3-run home run to Hernandez, Teskar. Otani scored, Mookie Betts scored in the 5th inning, took him out. So, not the start that you were expecting out of it, but it's the Dodgers, so you can't expect much more or less from the Dodgers. They're not going to just sit around and let you take control of the game in itself. I think what I'm going to do is come across with maybe the stats. I thought Gilbert Torres, that plays second base, had 2 hits, 5 at bats, hit opposite side of the field twice. I think that's a good add-on for Detroit. I was impressed by that idea that he was able to hit opposite side of the field. Moved over in the 2nd inning. He moved Torkelson to third base. Unfortunately, with Colt Keith at bat, he didn't seem to get full connection of the ball. The ball dribbled in front of the catcher's the catcher. So basically, Torkelson got himself in a jam, ran home, and got out. If Torkelson and the Detroit Tigers were able to read the play a little bit better, I think that we could have scored off the next hitter. But that's probably a bad play for Detroit. That's not a good way to start. That'd be a good way to put runs on the board in the top of the 2nd. In the bottom of the 2nd, though, Tommy Edman home runs to left center field to take a 1-0 lead. Dodgers land. Going down to, let's keep going with Torkelson. Torkelson walked 4 times, hit a home run in the 7th inning. So that's something that it looks promising with Torkelson. He didn't strike out. He walked 4 times. He didn't reach out for bad pitches. He was more patient. He was able to have the pitcher's count on his side. So everything seemed to be working for him. He's a DH, still in the cleaner's box. I think that's a good idea to keep his confidence up as much as possible, even though he's not playing on the field. Colt Keith played in first base. I think he did all right. And then Torres, obviously second base. He can reach a couple balls. The Dodgers hit the ball pretty hard, so that's expected in that scenario. Riley Green had 1 hit, 5 at bats, 3 strikeouts, which is a little concerning. But what's Blake Snell a two-time Cy Young winner. Um, he threw his good stuff, so that's something to consider. It Abaez, 5 at bats, one strikeout. Um, Manuel Marget, 3 at bats, 2 hits. Like what I said before, opposite side of the field. That's something that's pretty good in itself. I'm a little confused of the Sweeney pitch hit. He struck out 1 at bat. I didn't really understand that at all. Colt Keith, 5 at bats, no hits, one strikeout. Um, but yeah, I think with Colt Keith, you're probably expecting him to be a little slow, maybe. I'm not really sure, but he didn't. First time that he came up last year, it took him a bit to get warmed up. Abaez, again, 2 at bats, no hits, nothing going on. Mc, McKinstry, 1 at bat, 1 hit, 1 home run. Yes, he hit a home run. He did walk. Um, so that's Zach Malinsky. He's one of those guys that he doesn't look like a baseball player, but he really is. Ryan Cretter was playing the first time in center field. He made an amazing catch to save a couple runs. So for him to play that center field, that's pretty great. I was a little mystified the fact that we didn't put Riley Green in center field because Meadows out and Matt Verding out. So I thought maybe they would put Riley Green in the center field and maybe put Cretter into right field, but that didn't seem to happen. Kerry Carpenter sacrifice fly. So he made connection to the ball, scored a run. That's something that you want to consider. That's pretty good for Detroit. For Detroit, it's one of those things that you're just going to have to enjoy watching Detroit. They can get guys on base. They can get guys to score. So in the top of the fourth, Detroit has a couple runners on. While pitched by Blake Snell, Spencer scores, Manuel Margaret to third, and then Jake Rogers to second base. Another thing to talk about Detroit is Jake Rogers seemed to be seeing the ball real well. He almost hit a home run. So and he's making solid connection with the ball. So that's something that's very, in some way, not surprising anymore for Detroit Tiger fans, but for other people outside Detroit land, that's pretty awesome that he's doing that well, or he's seeing the ball that well. So going into the fifth inning, going to the fifth, Riley Green singles to line drive to right field. Gleyber Torres to third, Riley Green to second. I was going to do. There we go. Scoring. All right. So at top of the fifth, Riley Green scores. Goes to third. Gleyber Torres scores to make it 2-1 Detroit. There we go. I was a little off on the page a little bit. So on the bottom of the fifth, Tesco Hernandez, hits his first home run. Again, Shohei Ohtani and Mookie Betts scored to make the score 4-2 Dodgers. This is when Detroit took out. This is when Detroit took out Tarek Skubal. Going to the top of the seventh, Spencer Torkelson hits a home run to make the score 4-3. Detroit seems to keep the game close. This is something that Detroit in the last 3 years, they weren't able to do. It is to score runs. Up to point last year, that's when they would start doing it, and they would win more of those games. But it's the first game of the season. Torkelson is looking promising. I really don't know what they're going to do because if Colt Keith is in first and he turns it on, I mean, you could take days off for these guys between Colt Keith and in Torkelson. So that's something that it looks promising if both of these guys turn it on, and you could have these guys split shift jobs and on first base. I'm thinking Spencer would probably be the better first baseman because it's his natural position. I'm assuming first game of the year. Can't really speculate. Again, the bottom of the seventh, Tommy hits his second home run of the season to left field. MLB baseball is making a highlight film in everything Otani does, so I think it's a bit obnoxious. He's just a tall athlete who's a pitcher, batter. Let's not make one guy a hero and everyone else is just mediocre. That's my thing about MLB baseball. I think they like this um, uh, heroism or image guy to take over MLB. It's just my little thing. I don't really enjoy. Kerry Carpenter sacrificed to left field. Zach Malinsky scores to make the game 5-4, and that's how Detroit ends up losing the game in itself. But going back to Detroit's pitching, Breba had 2 strikeouts, replacing Screwball, and then Hanafi allows 1 run, one strikeout, and gave up the home run. I think it was to Otani. And then Brisky, Bisky, had 1 inning, 1 strikeout. So in total, Detroit's allowed 7 hits, 5 runs, 5 earned runs, 1 walk, 6 strikeouts, and gave up 3 home runs. So giving up 3 home runs isn't looking great for Detroit in the beginning of the year. But in other news in Detroit, in baseball, which I thought maybe I should embrace and talk about, is Austin Wells, catcher of the Yankees, leads off with a home run, and this is the first time that a catcher in Yankee land has ever done that. So that's pretty awesome for this guy. Again, I'm just trying to bring in great news for MLB. Detroit's next game. Let me see here. The next game for Detroit, March 8, 28. It's going to be Jack Flaherty against Yamamoto. If I pronounce that right. Jack Flaherty, again, pitched for the Dodgers the second half of the year. The trading block for Detroit and LA. So it's going to be an interesting thing to see Jack Flaherty pitch against his old team that he won the World Series. I'd like to thank everyone that listened to this little mini podcast episode. I know I could do a lot better. But thank you. You can find me on rss.com. You can find me on Spotify. You can find me on Apple Podcast. You can find me on YouTube. You can find me on the Patreon. You can find me anywhere that you can download your podcast. So peace, love, and I'm out of here.